ESL Lesson Plan. This is a basic outline for how to write an ESL lesson plan. And if you're new to ESL, that stands for English as a Second Language. Here are the basic sections of an ESL lesson plan if you have to write one up for your school or employer. Basically, they will follow something like this, and you can always revise as you need to. 1. Class introduction. 2. Aims and objectives. 3. Anticipated problems. 4. Materials. 5. Warm-up. 6. Introduction. 7. Presentation. 8. Practice. 9. Production. And 10. Review. Number 1. Class introduction. This is where you will write what the students will be learning during this lesson. For example, today the students will learn how to introduce themselves and say where they are from. Two. Aims and objectives. This is where you'll write what you want the students to accomplish during this lesson. For example, the students will be able to introduce themselves and say where they are from. Number 3, anticipated problems. This is where you'll write some of the problems you think the students may have in learning the lesson. For example, students may have difficulty understanding how to introduce themselves. This may require additional demonstration from the instructor. Number 4, materials. The materials are the things like books and objects you will use to teach the lesson. For example, you can write, teacher will be using the following materials for this lesson. A. Student handbook. B. Flashcards. Number 5, warm-up. And warm-up is basically a section where you will just put the students at ease and do something kind of fun to start the class. For example, you could ask them to say what they had for dinner last night. Number 6, introduction. This is where you will write what the students will be learning during this lesson. For example, in today's lesson, we are going to learn how to introduce ourselves and say where we are from. And the introduction is a lot like the class introduction. It's just more or less a format thing. When you're writing out your plan, you can put a little class introduction at the very beginning. And this section, number 6, just introduces the lesson to the students. Number 7, presentation. This is where you will present the lesson to the class. For example, the teacher will write the following on the board. A. Hello, my name is Steve. I am from the United States. And this is presented to the class because that's what they will be learning for that day. Number 8, practice. This is where the students will get a chance to practice the lesson for the day. In this section, the students will introduce themselves to their classmates. They can either do this one-on-one or in small groups. Number 9, production. This is where you'll have the students practice in front of the class, meaning we will all work on this together. For example, each student will introduce themselves to the class and say where they are from, and students will be encouraged to ask each other questions to further along the conversation. Number 10, review. This is just where you will review what you have learned for the day. The teacher can ask several students to introduce themselves and say where they are from, and go around the class and make sure that each student has understood today's lesson. Thank you for watching this video. Have a great day, and we will see you in the next video.